I am attempting to relock my own Microlocs by myself for the entire head. I have found it very necessary to start relocking my own hair, and the reasons are so overwhelming. I'm unable to find a correct loctician that is available when I have time. This is a bit nerve-wracking for me. I feel like I may not do it well. I'm not well experienced. So I lost these locks from trying to retighten my own hair. I lost them from here. I understand the principle now. At first, I didn't even understand how to do the relocking. I couldn't wrap my mind around it, but now I do. Just that having to do it all by myself throughout the entire head, that is something else. It's a challenge I'm ready to take up. Also, I've noticed a lot of holes in my hair. I actually used to think that those holes would just close up because when the hair is locking, they're going to lock on itself and all that. I've noticed the holes are still not going away. They're still in my locks, and I'm concerned that one day the hair may actually break off at that point where the holes are, and I'm worried I may lose my locks. Then I find out from another video I made about how locticians haven't been treating me well. I'm linking that one here for you to see as well. I found out that the holes in my hair are actually because of how the locticians are locking my hair. I'm wondering, do they even know that that is why I have holes? Have they even noticed that I have holes? And is it of concern to them? I used to think I understood locks and all that before I started it, but then as time goes on, I realized I actually don't know anything about this thing, especially the hair maintenance. They usually use 2-point rotation because it's easier, it's faster. They look at my hair, it's a lot, so you want to like quickly finish and take money. And each time you use the 2-point rotation, it causes this V, all right, at the base. And that V at the base, next time you're retightening the hair, you have to change the orientation to retighten it so that that V is closed. And if you're not very skilled at it, that is when you miss that opportunity to close it up, and then it causes the holes. I didn't know this. Oh my god. So with this length of locks, there are so many holes in it, and I really don't know what I can do about it. Just here, all right, you see those holes in the locks, right? They are not supposed to be there, because if you're properly relocking, let's say, look at this side, if you're properly relocking, you're not supposed to see any holes in the strand. Another one here, and this has been going on all throughout my hair. And another thing I found a bit uncomfortable is the way my hair is so fluffy. You see, there's so much loose hair around the locks. It's making my hair look like loose natural, and I like the look, it's still nice, but the unfortunate part is that it's making the hair strands or the locks attached to the others, making them mat together, because these loose hairs around it are touching the others, and if it takes a while, they kind of join together. And I heard that the retightening, actually we have 4-point rotation, 3-point rotation, and 2-point rotation. The 2-point rotation is what makes this so fluffy, as you can see, and the 4-point rotation makes it a bit more compact. For me, the holes in my locks are quite concerning to me, and I'm very bothered about it. That is why I want to try the 4-point rotation on my locks. This is going to be a long day, but I'm going to try. I did an experiment a few days prior to this, where I used the 4 points to see the difference in how my hair would look. Okay, and you notice that the 4-point doesn't give the V at the base, and it kind of like gives it a full look at the base. Okay, and it looks as if the hair has been braided. If you see what I mean, it looks as if the hair has been braided, right? So there's no V in it. There's no V in it at all. And because there's no V in it, anytime I come to retighten when this has grown, I'm not really bothered about where to start from. So for the tools I'm using, my comb, it's going to help me make the pattern smoother. And I'm using this tail to make sure I try to do the pattern even more smoother. Then these little bobby pins to separate the hair. Then these bigger pins to do what I've done here. For example, the relocking tool itself is this. It's actually not an actual original relocking tool. I haven't been able to get some where I am, so I decided to fashion this in the meantime until I'm able to order some. And then my spray bottle that contains aloe vera, lime, and then 4 essential oils: argan oil, tea tree, eucalyptus, and then lavender oil. Now the technique: apply your water, pick the hair that you want to lock, separate the rest, then put the hair through the eye of your locking tool. You should imagine the base of the hair as a circle so that you can go through it using 4 points. I started from my right side, as you're seeing here right now. That was my point 1. I'm making sure the stray hair is out. Then I go through the second point from beneath, as you're seeing. Then the third point from the left, like that. Then the fourth point from the top downward. Okay, so that's a complete 4-point rotation. When I'm done and I feel like it's not too tight, I do it again. There's some hair there that I lost, so I repaired it. Right, so that took me like a whole day, and this is the final look for 1 day's work. For the 4-point rotation, you just have to make sure that wherever you end is where the hair is going to lie. So if you end from the top, it means the hair is going to lie in that direction. So as you're seeing here, I'm ending from the top, or the north, or the 12 o'clock, like this. So it's going to lie in this direction. For the 2 locks I lost during the time I tried relocking myself, I braided the lock with the hair, the new growth, and then I twisted it up and re-tightened the base just to make sure that it's secure. And I added a little trimming. You really need to remember which side of your head you are relocking, so that if you want the locks to lay towards the right side of your head, then it means you are ending from point 4, like I showed you in the previous video. Or if you're using a clock, that'll be the 12 o'clock. If you're using the north and south direction, that'll be the north direction. Whatever it is, wherever you finish your point rotation, that is how the lock is going to lay on your head. Right, so on this side, as you're seeing, I'm ending at the 12 o'clock or at the north, and that's why it's laying to the right side. So that is just the principle. If you move to this side, I'm about to join 2 locks here because one of them was quite thin and I needed to put them together. This is not what the locticians do. They never tell me if they think that one lock is too loose, or they don't suggest anything to me right? Because from the way this is weak, I was expecting that somebody would tell me something about it, but I never knew it until I started locking my own hair. Now, onto my favorite part, trying to get the parting straight again. When I installed my locks, I remember I tried to make the parting as straight as I could, but with time I kind of lost all my parting lines, and with this relocking I tried to get it back. um the locks that were weak, I joined them. It's quite risky because if you're not careful you may lose the locks if you're not cutting properly. So what I did was that, because this new growth was a lot, I was quite careful. I look at the main lock that I want to cut some hair off from. Something like this, for example, was most definitely joined. So I found a way to lift off some of the hair from the main locks, and then I cut those little hairs off just to get the line straight. I was very careful because if you don't do that quite carefully, what you're going to do is that the other lock you're cutting the hairs from is going to be weak. Again, the direction of the points rotation is very important. Look at what I'm doing here, there, there, and then here. Then it's gonna lie in that direction as you're seeing. Okay, so I'm demonstrating it again for you to see. So I'm going in there. Okay, then we go that way, and then through that route. And then finally this, right, then it lies that way. So I felt it was a bit loose, so I had to go through the point rotation again through those same directions. You have to make sure that if you go through one direction, you need to go through the other direction in the opposite direction, just like I showed you in the initial phase. Then onto the parting. As for my middle parting, it was so terrible. I remember for my last retightening, I asked a very popular loctician's place to try to repair my lines or my parting, and they couldn't do it. They said they couldn't, and I was wondering why. I tried my best to get the middle part straight again. It was quite difficult because I had to make sure that I was exactly in the middle, and then I tried to get the strays out of the way. It was quite challenging. I think at a point I was quite dizzy because my eyes were looking up throughout the entire time, looking in the mirror. Right? But the point I want to make is that using the scissors to cut off the strays is a very dangerous thing to do. If you're not careful about it, please don't try it at home. Get somebody else to assist you. Okay, I've already tried this and I knew it would work. That's why I did it. So just be careful with that. Right. Okay, so then the lines are straight again. Not too straight, but it's better than what I had before. Okay. So then I just re-tightened everything, made sure the hair was wet and elastic enough to aid me in my retie. One interesting thing too was that even though I was cutting the strays from the main hair or the main lock was not getting loose. Again, that was because I wasn't cutting too much from the main thing, right? Just to make sure that it was still full enough, right? So I think this was the middle part, yeah, that I finally got. For the back I couldn't reach there, I couldn't see, so the parting couldn't reach the back, so I just did what I could. and at least the front was well parted enough, just that the back is not too parted, especially the crown area wasn't well parted. Again, if you notice, I'm going according to the 4-point rotation, but making sure that I let them lie just the way I want it to lie. If I want it to go back, I end in that direction, right? And also, one thing I did was that I didn't want the hair to feel too tight. So each time I felt like it wasn't too tight, I tried doing another rotation again, and by the third rotation, it wouldn't continue. Right? And then for some of the logs that I joined, I had to braid them and sew them together. Mm. Just remember that when you are doing the retightening, whenever you go through a point, you cannot go through that same point again, just to avoid holes in your locks. So let's say from the first or from the initial direction I showed you, the 4-point rotation I did in the initial phase, if you go through point 1, you would have to do point 2, 3, then 4. You cannot do point 1 and then jump to point 3. That's like going through the same direction twice, and that's going to cause holes in your locks, and you don't want that. So look at this, for example. Look at how I'm going. If you notice, I never went through the same direction twice. And in this direction, I ended in the direction I wanted the hair to lay. You see? So the hair is going to lay to the right of your screen. So that's how I ended it. Right? So that is it. This feels so surreal. I can't believe I've been able to re-lock my own hair by myself. Like, I feel so accomplished. Ah, this is a nice feeling. I've completed it. I did it. And I repaired it. I solved it. I did all the lines. Oh my god, it looks so beautiful. Like, this is a very nice feeling. I don't think I've felt this happy and excited about something in so long, especially about my hair, because I always just gave the power to locticians to just do my hair. I always felt like they could do it better. I always assumed my hair was just so much, and the fact that I just thought I couldn't do it myself is just too much hair, and I didn't think I had enough time to do it. But I tried it and I did it. Oh my god. And the fact that they told me that I couldn't fix the lines. Just look at that. It took me on average 3 days to complete this retie. But obviously I didn't use the entire 3 days. I actually put in the specific number of hours I used. I noted them down. I'm going to link it down here for you to see. This has been very exciting for me. I don't know. I feel very happy that I've been able to retie my own hair. Even though it's time consuming, I'm glad that I can do it. Like, I just like the fact that they told me no, and I said I can do it, and I still was able to do it even though they said no. It's something that whoever you are out there, if you have whatever it is you're doing, whether it's Locs or it's education, it's your career, people telling you no, you've got this, you can do it. That's all I can tell you. And whatever it is you put your mind to it, if you tell yourself you can do it, you can do it, and it will happen for you. You just need to believe in yourself and never give up.